Hi, it's Mike, and we're talking about weed prevention in the garden. As you can see, we have quite the garden this year, and there's only two things that I found that grow better in the garden than actual stuff you plant: weeds and rocks. Now, we don't have a rock here yet, but we have a weed here. Grass clippings. Who would have thought it? This is just your basic lawnmower with a bagging attachment. If you don't have a bagging attachment, okay, maybe you have a rake, and you can rake piles of grass clippings together and throw them in your garden. And this has been by far the most effective weed preventer that we found. Grab a handful of grass, start throwing it in where your plants aren't planted. Ideally, you want to weed first, but sometimes you just throw them right on top, and that's okay because it all prevents the weeds from popping up. Occasionally you might have to get down there and pluck one or two of them, but most of the time you don't have to do anything. This is your standard bagging attachment. The bags come right out and dump it right into your garden. There's a handle on the end of the bag so you can really walk and sprinkle. If you don't want to invest the money in a bagging attachment, you can get yourself a lawn sweeper. Those work very effectively, and they're not that much labor intensive. Or you can get yourself just a standard rake, rake them up into hay piles or grass piles, and scoop from there. Two main reasons why we found grass clippings to be effective. One, there's such a thick mat right there. It prevents weeds from sprouting through. And two, as the grass clippings decay, they will release nitrogen, great fertilizer. And what we do with the excess grass clippings is we throw them in the compost pile. We'll do a video on the compost later. Other methods we have tried this year are hay and cardboard. Hay looks sharp when first applied, but we noticed weeds popping up through the hay after a week. The cardboard provides a wonderful mat and can be put down on unweeded, out-of-control areas easily. However, my wife is squeamish about snakes and avoided the area until we had enough rain to make the layer soggy enough to stick to the ground without leaving room for our slithering neighbors. Pros of the grass clippings: excellent coverage and thick mat, keeps moisture well, readily available, and natural fertilizer. Some of the cons, though, are equipment is expensive or labor intensive, and watering above the clippings may have trouble penetrating to the soil. Some of the pros and cons of hay. Pros: allows more rainwater through or watering from above, readily available from most local farmers. Cons: allows more weeds and is less control if pesticide or herbicides are used from the farm. Pros and cons of cardboard. Pros: readily available with every delivery, thick mat that allows very little weeds through. Cons, however: no control over material chemicals from manufactured process, and need to remove tape before putting in garden, need to weigh corners down so they do not blow away, tends to be a bit bulky, and not a good weed preventer between rows like corn.